Hey guys, today I want to talk about 6 irrational fears that a person winds up developing if they come from a background where they had childhood trauma, where they develop complex PTSD, often due to toxic parents, emotionally unavailable parents, or parents with a personality disorder like narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, I want to talk about these fears. And first, I want to state that I'm not trying to say that in order to heal or feel completely, past the side effects of childhood trauma, that you never feel fear. I'm not trying to go to that extreme, but there are things that don't make sense to be afraid of. So, for example, if I told you guys, I'm afraid of my chair right there, okay, you're going to think there's something wrong with me, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Well, that's what I'm talking about, fears that don't make sense. And I think it's important to really bring this to light, because if we don't bring these fears out into the open, if we don't bring them into our conscious awareness, they are in our subconscious. They are part of programs that keep us from being happy, and they keep us stuck in survival. So with that in mind, let's get started. For those that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a life and relationship coach. I'm the founder of the Thriver School of Transformation, which is a monthly membership where we meet live every week. This month, we are talking about how to overcome social anxiety. I'll leave the link here if anyone wants to check it out. Okay, so let's talk about those 6 fears. And again, the reason why I want to bring this up is because if they are still active in our subconscious mind, they will prevent us from ever really feeling happy and grounded in our life. When we are stuck in fear mode, our brain is stuck in survival. And when our brain is stuck in survival mode, it doesn't care about our happiness. It's not even looking to help us to be happy. Its job at that moment is only to keep you alive. And it's like on this 24/7 surveillance alert in regards to these fears. And it'll start making sense as I start talking about them. So let's talk about the first one. The first fear that nobody should have, that doesn't make sense, right? That is a side effect or a direct result of narcissistic abuse, in fact, is fear of authenticity. And this comes about because narcissistic parents view their children as extensions of themselves. That means the child is expected to do, think, and feel everything that the toxic person does, thinks, and feels, or at least in alignment with what benefits that parent, that narcissistic parent. Anything that deviates is punished. Okay, so if you want to be your own person and that's not in harmony with what the narcissistic parent wants for you, they will emotionally punish you. Sometimes it's not with hitting, but remember, a lot of these fears are instilled in childhood, and something that is completely painful for a child, just as painful as getting hit, in fact, maybe even more so, is emotional abandonment. So if a parent abandons you emotionally and just stops talking to you or gives you these nasty looks every time you're being yourself, on a subconscious level, you start learning that there's something wrong with me and it's dangerous to be myself, because if that parent gets mad when I'm myself, then who's going to take care of me? So that rejection of your authentic self that you're feeling, it gets intertwined with survival, because the person inflicting it is supposed to be taking care of you. Okay, so if you grew up with narcissistic parents that punished you every time you had a different thought, every time you were your real self and it was out of alignment with them, which means sometimes you probably called them out for their bad behavior and you were punished, then you wind up with a very intense fear of authenticity. And it shows up in people pleasing, in abandoning self so that you can make everyone else happy, and in areas like that in your adult life. The second fear that doesn't make sense is fear of people getting upset. Okay, in life, people get upset. In life, people are not going to like everything you do, right? It's normal. Like, to think that we can go through life And every single person is going to support and love every action, every thought, every feeling. Everything we do is irrational. So to fear that somebody's going to get upset if you are assertive, or if you put down a boundary, that's not healthy. And that comes from not being allowed to exercise those healthy behaviors in childhood. So for example, if you said no because you knew that it was too much for you when you were younger, and even in adult relationships, I should say, if you said no and it was met with so much pain and so much suffering that the person punished you emotionally, it creates a subconscious belief that when people are upset, somehow it's your fault. When the reality is everyone has to take responsibility for their own choice and how they choose to feel and how they choose to respond. But toxic relationships instill in you that it's your fault. And so this creates an intense fear of people getting upset. In fact, you're so afraid of getting other people upset that you're never yourself. You're always thinking, what do they need? What will make them happy? If I say no, what will they say? What will they feel? And anything that causes discomfort in others, you alter yourself, including your needs and your comfort, to constantly show up for the other person, almost as if it's your job to make sure they never get upset. Another fear that comes about because of narcissistic abuse is fear of being successful. Okay, so this often happens because a lot of people that are in relationships with narcissists, and even the child that's chosen as a scapegoat, often has a lot of talent in different areas, or is intelligent or attractive, or they have beautiful qualities, especially if you were the scapegoat, right? Every time you achieved something or had the spotlight on you, not intentionally, you won an award because you're intelligent. It's not like you're trying to outshine anybody, but it happened, right? Well, the narcissist in your life would somehow punish you by acting as if what you did was really, unimportant. And meanwhile, the golden child will come in with like, a C- and get praised, up the gazoo because that's amazing. But here you are like valedictorian and it's like, oh yeah, whatever. So when things like that happen over and over, that creates a subconscious program that anything that is good in my life, anything that I succeed at, is met with pain. And when the brain creates those paired associations that success means emotional abandonment, it will kick on anytime you're starting to go down a road that you can be successful at. And even if the narcissist is out of your life, and this is why I'm making this video, because it's not just about getting away from the narcissist or the toxic person. Even if you are away from that person, if those beliefs are in you, you will start down towards your goals, right? You know your conscious goals, you're on your way towards them. And our subconscious, which is like a psycho-cybernetic mechanism, very much like your AC unit, when it's programmed, it just kicks on, right? So your psycho-cybernetic mechanism, your subconscious mind, doesn't pay attention in the beginning to your new behaviors towards your goals because, it's not noticing. It's just like, yeah, Michelle's trying something new this week. But as I continue down towards my goals, the closer I get, or not the closer, but the more outside the boundaries of the old belief that success is dangerous, the further I get from that, where I'm actually making success my reality, my subconscious mind will kick on and it will sabotage my success. And I will start back at square one all over again. So in regards to work, this is where this shows up a lot, or even in relationships, where you start to see that you're doing something well, you're starting to reach your goals, and then you sabotage them. Then you start to reach your goals, and then you sabotage them. Oftentimes there's a belief like success is dangerous, and that fear is like an anchor holding you back. Another fear that makes absolutely no sense, but it comes from narcissistic abuse, is fear of happiness. Okay, so if you were raised around a malignant narcissist, you know that they hate happiness. They can't feel it. Therefore, if they can't feel it authentically, how dare you, feel that in their presence? So growing up, what would happen is at the moments when the family was most happy, right? Maybe it was you were just having a good day. Maybe it was on the way to a vacation, right? And the whole drive towards the destination was a nightmare. And you get to the destination, which you were really looking forward to before, right? And you were so happy and excited about. Now you're miserable. And the narcissist is like, why is everyone so miserable? I feel great. I'm excited. So the narcissist takes everyone's happiness, stamps it out, and that's how he or she feels his or own well-being. So that done over and over and over again, it creates a subconscious program that happiness is dangerous. And anytime you are starting to feel happy, your subconscious mind will send out the alarm system, your amygdala will kick on, your limbic network will be going crazy, your body will be flooded with stress hormones, and you will do or say or act in a way that will sabotage your happiness. And it all stems with that fear that gets developed because of narcissistic abuse, that as soon as I'm happy, something bad will happen. So it's almost like a coping skill as well, that if you can make something bad happen, at least you beat the person to it. And there's kind of a measure of control there. And the last fear that I'm going to mention is this fear of never feeling like you again, or never healing, I should say. Okay. There's this thought that no matter what I do, I'm never going to be over this. And that comes about often because the healthier you get in a relationship where there's toxic, malignant narcissism, the healthier you get, the more punished you are, the more emotionally abandoned you are, the worse you're treated. And so that can, again, cause your brain to make these paired associations that getting better is dangerous, right? It's going to result in something negative. I'm going to lose my family. Something bad is going to happen. This is going to happen. And we wind up kind of sabotaging the efforts that we're making towards moving forward. And a lot of it is because of this anchor of fear. So the reason why I want to bring this out and kind of hopefully help you to have it in your conscious awareness is because if it's in your subconscious and you don't even realize why you're repeating these patterns, then you can't change it. We can't change what's in our subconscious until it gets into our conscious awareness. So we have to become aware of it. And I do want to say it's hard work. It's hard work to uproot old beliefs, to upgrade limiting beliefs, and to really start living in harmony with empowering beliefs. It takes effort, it takes compassion, it takes a tremendous amount of patience, but the alternative is staying stuck, right? And who wants that? So a lot of working through the side effects of complex PTSD has to do with rewiring the brain, has to do with your subconscious beliefs. It has to do with creating new neural pathways so that you're not constantly going down the same old ones and experiencing the same events over and over. If you're struggling and if you're striving to overcome narcissistic abuse or complex PTSD, and you're realizing that it is hard, that it is something that takes time, and you're struggling with that, make sure you check out the Thriver School of Transformation, because we meet live weekly. Each month we have a different piece of the healing journey, and we deep dive so that we can little by little create lasting change. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this month we're doing how to overcome social anxiety. Next month is reparenting. But whether it's my program or another program, it's important to do something that's consistent, because in order to work through subconscious beliefs, our subconscious is a habit mind. We can't learn something one day and expect it to create lasting change. We have to be involved in something consistently over a period of time for it to penetrate our nervous system and to penetrate our subconscious mind.